Guess what, everyone? Araquanid is back, and for those of you with arachnophobia, look away now because it means business. Hacking a base 70 attack, you might think this spider was pretty weak, but you need to consider its ability Water Bubble, which boosts water type moves by 2 times, making them hit incredibly hard. Friendly reminder to drop a like on the video and be sure to subscribe for more Pokemon Wi-Fi battle content. Here are the teams. Let me know who you think will win in the comment section down below, and stick around to the end to find out if you're right. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the battle. And the battle begins. Good luck, have fun, Pokemaster 88 or Chris. So they lead off with Enamorus as we lead off with Dimmer the Necrozma. Not the worst matchup in the world. They're probably going to want to switch out here, but they can't just go Great Tusk to stealth to rapid spin the Stealth Rocks away, because obviously won't work out very well in their favor. So I'm going to go for a Stealth Rocks. They do go for a Mystical Fire, which is going to do minimal damage to us, but it does lower our special attack as we get the Stealth Rocks up. So there we go. Now, there is a good chance this thing's choiced. There is a good chance, but there's also a good chance it's not choiced. It really depends, really. So I could go for the Meteor Beam here. I could go straight for the Meteor Beam here. It would still take out the Enamorus, I'm sure, because we get a special attack boost. I suppose if the Necrozma's doing anything in this game, it's going to be that. So I'm going to go for it. They do go for another Mystical Fire, though, which is going to lower our special attack even further. We go for the Power Herb, so we're going to be -1 special attack. There we go. Meteor Beam is coming through, overflowing with space power, boosting our special attack. And then the Power Herb's going to flick, and we're going to activate and go for a Meteor Beam. So let's hope this KOs the Enamorus. It probably doesn't. It doesn't KO the Enamorus, unfortunately. But the next Photon Geyser most likely will, as I'm going to go for it. So they go for another Mystical Fire. They're just staying in and attacking with this Enamorus, weakening my Necrozma as much as they can, as we go for a Photon Geyser, which should definitely KO the Enamorus as it does. So Enamorus was a big threat, and it's out of the picture now, so I'm actually not too bad. Surprised they stayed in there. Unless he's trying to prove a point to all you anti-switchers out there. That's what I'm going to call you, anti-switchers. Anti-switchers. In comes Keldeo. So Keldeo can match up pretty well. It can definitely take us out, no problem. Obviously, Stealth Rocks are going to dig into it, though, which is great. Breaks potential Focus Sash. Not that they would be Focus Sash anyway. So I'm leaning towards going to the Araquanid. Araquanid does really well against Keldeo. But at the same time, Necrozma is literally on death's door, and it gets outsped by everything on their team, pretty much. So I am just going to stay in and go for Photon Geyser just in case. They do go for a Sacred Sword. We might live. We don't live. We definitely don't live that. So down goes Necrozma, but it did well. He took out the Enamorus and he got Stealth Rocks up, which is always nice. So now we're going to go Araquanid. This is a good tactic because it ensures that the Great Tusk cannot switch in. Alternatively, we could go to Zeb Striker. So I'm leaning towards Zeb Striker. I am leaning towards Zeb Striker. I'm going to go Zeb Striker. Just going to go Zeb Striker. So we'll bring in Marty, the Zeb Striker. Should outspeed the Keldeo, I'm pretty sure. We'll go for a Volt Switch. If they bring Great Tusk in, then we go hard into Goldengo. So let's just go for that. So we go for a Volt Switch. They actually stay in. I think he's making a point to the anti-switchers. He's making a point to the anti-switchers right now. Definitely doing that. Oh, I thought they go for a Flip Turn. One of the two. I could have easily gone for a Supercell Slam there and took that thing out. But it is what it is at the end of the day. So what I'm going to do now is going to go Araquanid. Break that Focus Sash, which is unfortunate, but it's fine. Dewey comes on in, looking all amazing. Not that you can see him barely. Secret Sword comes through. That's going to definitely do a lot of damage, but it's not quite enough to 2-hit KO, as our Liquidation should KO the Keldeo the next turn. And if they stay in here, then he's definitely making a point to the anti-switches. So they do withdraw Keldeo, so he's not making a point to the anti-switches, or he might have been for a little bit, but he's going to go into the Goldengo now, which is definitely not going to appreciate Liquidation too much, as Pointed Stones are going to dig in as well, furthering the damage. We go for the Liquidation. It is enough to 2-hit KO the Goldengo, which is amazing. So what I'm going to do now is, I would stay in. I kind of have to, don't I? Kind of have to. I mean, you know, it's not that big of a deal. Let's go for a Liquidation. Screw it. So they do withdraw the Goldengo. This time, they're going to go ahead and go into what, though? Latios. So they might have been expecting us to switch there, but we're not switching. We are an anti-switcher now. As we go for the Liquidation on the Latios on the switching, it's going to do some decent chip damage. There we go, and does a clean 50, well, nearly 50%. So what we could do now is, if we're expecting the Draco, we could go ahead and switch and Tera here. We are Tera Steel, so we could Tera Steel Leech Life this thing. I am leaning towards that. I feel like that's a good play. But then, I am leaning towards it. I'm really, I'm going to do it. I'm going to Tera Steel, because Latios is a big threat. We want to make sure we tread carefully around Latios. So We're going to Terastal, just so we can resist that Luster Purge and that Draco Meteor. And if the choice specs, then Draco might actually KO anyway. I don't know. It might do. I'm not going to do the Kelks because I never like to do Kelks in a Wi-Fi battle. I like to just go free flow, base it all on personal experience with the moves. They do go for the Draco. Can we live? We do live like it's nothing because it's resisted. It's great. We go for a Leech Life. There we go. And we're going to get a nice chunk of health back. So Araquanid's actually putting in the work right now. Araquanid is putting in the work right now. So Latios does go down. Great Tusk is going to come in. So this thing is going to want to rapid spin away those Stealth Rocks for a start, because they hurt the Entei. And I'm pretty sure they might also predict the Goldengo switch and go for a Headlong Rush. So I am going to go into the Goldengo because we have got the Air Balloon, so we're immune to Headlong Rush. So there we go, going to withdraw. And I'm pretty sure they're going to go for an Earthquake or a Headlong Rush here. Because they want to take out that Araquanid, because they would lose the Great Tusk to the Liquidation if they didn't. We are going to float to the air in an Air Balloon, of course. They do go for an EQ, which is great. That means that this next attack we go for could potentially be game-changing. So I'm going to go for the Make It Rain because I feel like they stay in and go for a knockoff. I really feel like that's what they do. So I'm going to go for the Make It Rain. If they switch out into Entei, it's fine. So they do go for an Ice Spinner, breaking that Air Balloon, which is great for them. Not so great in the fact that we now get a free Make It Rain off. So when Modest max special attack takes out the Great Tusk, no problem. So there we go. Great Tusk goes down. So considering my opponent's team is a pretty powerful looking team, I think we're doing pretty all right with this game. I think we're doing all right. In comes Keldeo. So Keldeo is obviously a big threat here. Shadow Ball, I'm pretty sure, will KO from here. So I might go for it. I think I will go for it, because we've no reason to keep Goldengo around anymore. So they go for a Hydro Pump. It does miss, which is unfortunate. Now I'm kind of hoping Shadow Ball doesn't KO for that reason. As it doesn't. Okay, never mind. Never mind. I was only joking. God, game. Let's go for a Shadow Ball. They go for a Hydro Pump. They connect this time. And that's definitely going to KO my Gold Rush, which proves to me that they are Choice Specs Keldeo. Because we are bulky. We are bulky. They're very, very bulky. So we've got a couple of options here. We could go into Hitmonchan. We can go for a nice powerful Mark Punch if we want to. I am leaning towards that. I am leaning towards that a lot. But I'm also leaning towards Zeb Striker. And the reason I'm going Zeb Striker is because Supercell Slam looks pretty unmatched at the moment. Because they can't really... Well, they could Terra, but I think they're going to predict the Volt Switch, and they're going to switch out into Entei or Goldengo. I'm going to go for the Supercell Slam. Supercell Slam comes through. Down goes the Keldeo. It's pretty awesome that Zeb Striker outspeeds Keldeo, because Keldeo is pretty fast. So Zeb Striker's actually got a pretty neat little speed tier. In comes the Entei. So Entei is a threat here. It takes some Stealth Rock damage, which is nice. Entei could finish off the whole team. Well, no, we've got Gliscor right there, to be fair. I think we go for another Supercell Slam, just because they're going to go for an Extreme Speed here, or they're going to go for a Bulldoze, one of the two. We go for a Supercell Slam. It looks like they've gone for the Bulldoze option. Nearly KOs the Entei from full, as we don't live a Sacred Fire, unfortunately. Zeb Striker putting in the work with the Supercell Slam. Gotta love that. So, we're in a pretty good position here. We could go Hitmonchan. We could go for a Bullet Punch. That would bait in the... Goldengo though, so I'm going to go for it because I'm trying to bait it in. So we're going to Fisticuffs real quick. There we go. Like so. And I'm going to go for a Bullet Punch just so we can get some chip damage off on the Goldengo if they bring it in. I don't think they do. I think they leave the Entei in here. They do switch out into the Goldengo. So if the Goldengo... I can't remember what we said about the Goldengo. So Goldengo comes in and it's at half health. So let's see how much damage this Bullet Punch does. And if it does enough damage, we could potentially stay in here and win this game with... No, it does nothing. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. So, with that in mind, I don't want this thing to set up nasty plots on me. I definitely don't want it to set up nasty plots. They probably go for a Make It Rain to try and get the KO. In which case, I should go into Araquanid, right? Right? Yeah, I'm going to go Araquanid. I mean, I suppose in theory, I should let Hitmonchan go down, but I do not want my Goldengo setting up the nasty plots. Definitely don't want to set up nasty plots. So we're going to Dewey real quick. They go for a Recover, which is respectable. That's going to definitely help them out in the long run. But we still have the Gliscor in the back, so I'm not too worried. Let's go for that Liquidation real quick. So they go for a nasty plot. Now, we're in a difficult position here. I'm pretty sure they're bulky by how they take this liquidation. Look, there we go. That's how well they took it earlier. Pretty sure they're bulky. I'm going to go for another liquidation anyway. They do go for a Shadow Ball. That's probably going to KO us, right? Yeah, it definitely KOs us. So down goes Dewey. So that's unfortunate. Now, what's going to be unfortunate because they haven't Terra'd yet. So if this thing's Terra Flying, and Terra Flying's on my Goldengo, on my Gliscor, it's going to be a bit of an annoyance. So I'm going to try it. I'm going to go with the Gliscor. If they do go for the Terra Flying, we may have lost. So I'm going to go for the EQ. They do Terra. They do Terra. Are they Terra Flying? Probably, right? They are probably Terra Flying. We can't even Toxic this thing. Fairy. Terra Fairy. So if they're expecting a knockoff here, that might be why. So we go for an EQ, and that should take it out right from there. Not quite, as they go for a recover. So that is unfortunate. It is what it is, though. It is what it is. We have to kind of hope for a crit here. But the fact that the Terra Fairy tells me another thing. If we can weaken this thing enough first before it takes us out, we can definitely win the game with Hitmonchan. So let's try it. Because Bullet Punch is super effective now. So we go for an EQ. It should do a decent bit of chip damage like it did before. There we go. They go for a Make It Rain. It's +2. Takes us out. So there we go. So down goes the Gliscor. But I think the Goldengo's at enough health now where Hitmonchan could potentially win us the game. It all comes down to Hitmonchan here. All comes down to Hitmonchan. So let's go for it into the fisticuffs. There we go. Oh, we always have close battles with Pokemaster. Always really close battles. It's always a pleasure. So let's go for that BP, the Bullet Punch. Bullet Punch comes through. Can we get the KO? No way even near. They go for a Shadow Ball, though, which is a mistake. They should have gone for the Recover because we live that. And now we go for a Bullet Punch. And we're not going to win the game, unfortunately, because Entei has extreme speed, if you didn't know. It's got extreme speed. So we do unfortunately lose to that. But it was a good game nonetheless. We really tried our best. You know, considering the team matchup, I think we did pretty well considering that. But that is unfortunately going to be the game, I guess. So Entei comes in. Oh wait, Stealth Rocks, we win. Never mind, I forgot about Stealth Rocks. GG, that was a fun game. Sending them Stealth Rocks when I did was definitely the right idea. Definitely the right idea. So GG Pokemaster, that was a fun one. But anyway, here is the team user code at the top right corner of the screen to try it out. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you did enjoy, of course, leave a like, subscribe, all that wonderful stuff. And with that being said, I'll see you all in a bit.